Travel versus not travel and a few Netherland ideas. God, I feel I'm gonna roll my intro and then I'll be back. The lighting here is not ideal, but we'll just have to deal with it. You know what I mean? So be right back. Boom! Let's do this. Okay, well, hello. This lighting, I swear, it sucks. But you do what you can do when you're in places that are not your home. Oh, that's worse, I think. Okay, is that better? Yikes. I'll work on it. But, I don't have like a traveling studio or anything, so it's fine, right? It's good enough. I'm at this old folks trailer park still, dog sitting. This dog is so cute, but I'm not going to move my laptop because that will just be a disaster. Okay, so today we are talking about travel versus non-travel. And then I've got a few Netherland ideas. So I'll tell you what I may end up doing. I don't know. Because, okay, so I was thinking about, so I'm going to the Netherlands the first weekend in September for the World Championships. And athletically, there's just a different podcast I need to do because I haven't been doing my stuff, although I did go to the gym today, so I'm super strong already. But I was thinking about my trip to the Netherlands, and every time I'm staying a little longer. And so every time I plan a trip, I have the same conversation with myself, the same battle. Should I go? Should I save the money instead? Is this responsible? What if I have listings that aren't selling? Because I do right now. It's weird. What if I need that money later? I do. What if other people think I'm stupid for going? Some people do. So it's just, I can't. Traveling is in my soul for some reason. Okay. So like every summer we went to Canada, like we spent our summers in Canada. It was just really, really fun. And I just have to travel. It's in my blood. Oh, I have a comment. I bet it's Pam. Let's see. Hi, Pam. Yo, Katie, my bags are packed. Exactly. So I was talking to Pam. It was funny because I wasn't going to go to the Netherlands. And then one time I was studying. I was talking to Pam, and then I decided, you know what, Pam, I'm going to go. You can earn money. You can't earn time. Thank you, Pam. And you know what? Pam has, truthfully, the best like examples of and analogies of anyone I know. It's pretty awesome. So, yeah, you always think of that. But when I started traveling, so it's the Highland Games that really started making me travel more. So I always travel the country, and when I'm talking today, I'm only talking about the Netherlands because I'm going there. You don't have to internationally travel, okay? So you can, it could be go someplace you've never been, and I've never been to some weird obscure town in Arizona, and I go to that, and Atlas Obscura, I forgot to put the picture in here, but that's another thing I'm going to bring up again. But if you remember a few years ago, 2023, I went to Europe twice. I went to Pfeffer and had a blast, and I pulled a 21-ton truck there and also did Highland Games. And then 6 weeks later, I went to Scotland and Switzerland, competed in the World Championships, and I won. This year's going to be a little crazy, and then I went to Scotland and I got to throw there. I got to throw at Braemar, and I got to tool around and see all of the amazing things. Okay. So I want to show you this. So these are the things that you can't get back. So my friend Jennifer Taylor and she had rented a car. It was cool because I don't know if I could drive on the wrong side of the road, but we were going to see the Kelpies, and those are those water horses. That's the legends in Scotland. And this is a reel I put up years ago, but I'm going to play it again for you because the park is open until 10 p.m. Well, we got there literally like probably anywhere between 9 to 9:15 to 9:30. We didn't know that they lit up at night. So that was like an awesome mistake. So it's like, I'm going to talk about this too. Like when you travel, don't worry about itineraries all the time. Sometimes the best things happen when it's a mistake. Okay. So I will show you this because it was really cool. It's a reel that I did, and okay, which one is it? Yes, this one. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that you can see this because I'm always having trouble. Okay, you can. Okay. Let me get back to it. Okay, watch this. This is neat. Yeah, so I'll pause it now. So Jennifer Taylor just chimed in, which is great because she was the one there for that. That was amazing. So I had no idea. Like, you read up on something sometimes, but you don't get all of it, you know. So that was an awesome mistake, and that was something that I will never ever regret going. Okay, I will never regret going to Europe twice. I had a little money from my uncle who passed away. I bought a house. And then the market was weird, so things have not been exactly the same financially, but that's okay because we all go up and down. I'm glad that I went there, not because am or was rich or anything, not because it was like financially perfect, because it was just like it was magical, right? Like, besides my trip home from Norway, that was terrible. So this Netherlands trip, technically, yes, I can spend the money to do it. It's not really that issue. It's, am I going to give myself permission to spend it, right? And then I say, hell yes. So I'm going to show you some, I just kept Jennifer's comments up there. Some Google Slides. Let me pull them up. Sorry, I didn't get those done ahead of time. And I hope this lighting isn't driving you too crazy, but I see some videos and I'm like, yeah, that lighting's not perfect. It's fine. Okay. So when thinking about traveling, I found some things. So wait till it comes up. And then in the comments, you can tell me if you've ever traveled internationally. Drop a plane in the comments. If you haven't, that's cool. I didn't, well, actually I have my whole life. Here's my disclaimer, right? Because I have to do this because this is just for fun. Boom. Pause that if you want to read it. Okay. So I went to Reddit, like I like to do a lot of the time. And they always have like these awesome like examples and stuff. So I'm going to read a few of these and then we'll talk about it. So what's your opinion on travel now versus save money, build career dilemma? So this person says, I know I'm in a travel sub and I'll get extremely biased answers, but I'm curious. Luckily, I'm in an industry that allows for both merchant mariner, but I wonder how others make the decision. 2 of my high school friends died in their 30s. My neighbor had a heart attack a year after he retired. I see all of these posts on Reddit about how so-and-so has $1.4 million saved and can't wait to travel in 7 years once they hit their retirement number. I just couldn't fathom waiting until I'm 45, 50, 60, 70 plus to go anywhere if I had the money earlier in life to do so, and it was something I was interested in. Health will start to decline no matter how active you are. The more extreme locations become more difficult to navigate. You just can't do some things you could have done when you were 25 or 30. Obviously, it comes down to people having different goals. But when the goals often include traveling and having this early-ish retirement life of nonstop hobbies and things you want to do, I can't imagine putting everything off for 15 to 30 plus years. And that makes a lot of sense to me, right? Like, because a lot of people like Charles Schultz, and I've talked about this in other podcasts. Man, this is dark. He died the day after he retired. He was the guy that wrote the Peanuts cartoons. He retired, and the day after he died. How much of his retirement did he get to enjoy? Okay, maybe it's better. Maybe I should sit back. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so then there was another person here. If we're looking at this person's funny, Land Warrior 5150, you know what that means. If we're looking at extremes, as much as you can't fathom waiting until old age to go anywhere, can you also fathom having to still work at that age just to make ends meet because you have no retirement or savings built up? I'm just going to interrupt here and argue that things can happen at any time, though. Things come up that you have to pay for and, that kind of thing, right? So there's a balance that can be struck from here for most people. Travel when and where you can within reason while not completely neglecting your career. Well, that makes sense. You can also try to tailor your lifestyle and career choices to maximize the amount of time and money you'll have for travel too. It doesn't have to be a choice between living a career, full-time travel life. Oh my God. Doesn't have to be a choice, between living a carefree full-time travel lifestyle when you're young and paying for it in old age versus focusing 100% on your career with nary a vacation in sight until you're 60 years old and retired with tons of money to do whatever you want. So I don't feel like this person really got their point across that well. Like, what? What are you saying there, buddy? But I get it. Like, he's basically arguing both sides. All right, so this person says, I live very frugally and travel on a budget, so these are not mutually exclusive for my perspective. As long as you're not spending money you don't have, i.e. racking up credit card debt, and living and traveling within your means, I don't see what the issue is. Well, that's not the way I travel most of the time. I don't know about you. The idea of putting off things I want to do for some arbitrary future that I, or indeed even the world, may or may not even be around for is insane to me, though. So that is a big concept, don't you think? We're not guaranteed. We're not even guaranteed the next minute. So, I mean, it's really it's tricky, right? Okay. So there's a less common notion that I see rarely discussed about travel, and that it's traveling at different ages and different contexts, and ages in different contexts changes things entirely. So this person says, I've had the chance to travel to Japan multitude of times so far in my life, as a high school student staying with a host family, to study abroad as a college student, alone as a solo traveler in my early 20s with not much to my name, and now nearing my 30s with a partner in the funds of an engineer. Each has its experiences and memories that would have been impossible in the context of another one of my trips. The things you are willing to do and the people you meet who are willing to go eye to eye with you are going to change a ton. And that's why I would argue, just go. Because it doesn't matter what age you are, what stage of life you're in, you're going to have an experience, hopefully a good experience. I've had bad ones too. You guys have been there for those. Okay, so they also said, I think people who save up money before travel or travel in a very specific manner miss out on a ton of different experiences. I will never experience being a student alone in another city, mingling with students my age, native to that country again, but I wasn't able to spend money on the higher end stays and dining that I can now. That would also have been difficult as a student to even enjoy. And I am sure as I age, the people I meet and experiences I will have continue to be colored by what point of life I am at. That is to say, I think if you have the will, the ability to travel, there is worth in experiencing it all at stages in your life, because they will all be different and wonderful in their own way. Now, isn't that interesting? All right, so there's one more here. Personal preference, but I say if anyone wants to travel, do it now. Two things. My very healthy aunt, long-distance bike rider, tennis player until 70 years old, expected to live into her 90s as her parents did. Worked until 70, diagnosed with incurable cancer that year, treatment over 3 years left her homebound, died before 75. Very little travel and retirement. Told us all, don't wait to retire. Don't wait to travel. I've been traveling since I was 21, and multiple older strangers have spoken to me over the years while traveling. Without prompting, they have offered up some version of, keep traveling while you are young. I waited until retirement, and I regret it. So I realize that I am focusing only on one side of it, because I want to go and I want to have justification that I'm going. But there is, to me, now I want to know if you agree, there is something to, you're never going to get that time back, and if you can make it happen, stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. I do that too much, especially with clients and stuff. Okay, so I found this guy, and I'm not going to play his video because I don't want to get dinged, because I'm a creator with 191 subscribers, and so they care what I do, but I get dinged on stuff and I just don't want to, right? This is driving me insane. I wish that I could fix this. Okay. Thanks for putting up with me. But it is driving me insane. Look at how a light bulb. Oh, hi. I'll just hold it here. Lost my train of thought. Oh, so I don't want to get things. Okay. So this guy's Navigator Nick. He has like 3,000 some subscribers. He had some good information. So I just screenshot some of the things and put the words in there. So he says, travel teaches you what you actually, oh, wait, I skipped one. Travel resets your brain. So for somebody like me, this is huge, right? So Pam says, I got to walk the footsteps of some of my ancestors in Scotland at Fat Lips Castle. It was humbling. Yes. And Jennifer Taylor, if you're still on here, where is it that we went? What was that place outside of Inverness? And it's the same thing. So I'm driving around Norway, and I'm thinking, because my great grandfather was born in the 1800s? I'm thinking, holy shit, this is like possibly I'm driving around where he did. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, he was like in a horse and buggy or something, but I'm still on the grounds. And then you go to these ancient, I love the burial grounds, the graveyards, and like the churches. And I'm just thinking, geez, like the history. But when it's your own history, Pam, so true, right? Like it's amazing. So this is cool what he says here, because when you're in a new place, your brain is forced to be present, to be more aware, alert, and understanding. There's new smells, new architecture, especially in Europe. So much awesome architecture there. You notice more people, how they act and react. Now, if you've been overseas, or if you've been to another country, Canada, Mexico, whatever. Even if you go from like East Coast to West Coast or vice versa, the people are different and you'll notice it. And then the way they act and react to, like, me, I'm telling jokes all the time. So I'm like, okay. So you're not in your natural like routine in your autopilot life, which is like the best part about it. You're like, I don't have to do this and this from this time to this time and this time to this time. I'm just going to go with the flow, which if you are a person that can do that, this is going to be amazing for you. So then he says, it also teaches you what you actually like. It reveals your preference. For instance, he said he didn't feel like he needed a packed itinerary to feel he got his money's worth. I completely agree. Take your time, sit and have coffee, look at the things around you. So these are mine here. I can't do itineraries except for the things that I have to. I want to do my own thing. I want to rest and see all the things. And I don't want to do it all in one trip. So for the most part, I don't want to go to Scotland and I kind of made a mistake of this in Ireland when I was, a while back when I went by myself. That was a whole other trip. And I didn't have the means. So I don't want to have to go 1 or 2 nights here, one night here, one night here, one night here. But at the same time, that's good, right? Like, so it's whatever your preference is. And then if you're going along for a destination, then that's what's really fun. Because I am going to kind of do that this trip. Because Pam and Karen were talking, or they're taking a trip and going, and then we're all going to throw in Germany. So we're all going to throw in, I see you, Jennifer, I see you, and I'm going to pull that up here. We're all going to throw in the world championships. And then I'm going to do my own thing for a little bit. I'm going to stay in Amsterdam a few days, and then I'm going to make my way down and go to some German towns and then go through there and then go back. And so me, I'm going to see the graveyards. I'm going to do all the things. I love having a car, and maybe this will be another episode. I love having a car because I love stopping whenever I want to. Yes, I love riding the trains and relaxing and not having to worry about it. But I love having a car, traveling from one big city to another just because of that reason. And then if I have friends along the way, I can stop and say hi. I mean, how cool is that? So Jennifer Taylor says, I have met the best people while traveling, and those people have become family. Exactly. They have made my life and heart so much more full. So traveling brings more than just new foods, history, in your face, and memories, but can immediately increase the quality of your life. I wholeheartedly agree. So Jennifer says, we went to Inverness, Blair Gallery, and then Edinburgh. And then I also went to Glasgow and went to the Necropolis. Yeah, so I'm going to put that back up there. So look what we did. So we actually did a trip like that, but it was really fun because when we flew back from Switzerland, we drove straight to Inverness, and we only spent one night there. But Jennifer, we saw a lot. Like, so it depends on what time you get there, right? We got there in enough time to see some graveyards, some churches, some cool places, went to a cool bar, and then got to go see Loch Ness. Didn't see Nessie. And then we skipped rocks there, and I have pictures of that. I mean, like, those are the memories you can't get back, Okay, so then this guy also says, travel creates core memories. Different environments will create memories, as simple as a grocery store run. So, like, for instance, when I was in Edinburgh by myself, I was just down the hill from the castle. And so basically I would just kind of relax. I would sleep in. I did some laundry at the place. They have these machines that are like a washing machine and a dryer all in one. It's kind of interesting. But I would do that. And then maybe I watched a Netflix show or something. And then I would just go out for 10,000 to 20,000 steps and go see all the things. And then I'd stop at a pub and have some beers and fish and chips or something, But I like to get breakfast foods. I like to have a place with a kitchen. I like to get breakfast foods and then maybe snack foods. And then eating out, I like to eat out at dinner. I love breakfast. If I stay in a hotel that has breakfast, that's great. But Christine Hillary says, oh, yes, the Necropolis was so cool. I made my own outletter schedule and saw all the things. It was fun. Yeah. And I put some of the pictures. I have pictures up on Atlas Obscura that they took, which is really cool. The Necropolis is amazing. It's gorgeous. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I remember going to this grocery store and getting Scottish peanut butter and the certain jams they have and the bread and biscuits and like all the things. And so I just would make these awesome breakfasts every morning, some snacks, and then I would eat out. I remember that market. I'm not going to remember a market just going, on maybe unless there's something special there. But, if I'm out showing homes or something and I stop in a market, I'm not really going to remember that. But I remember that market. And I remember everything about it, how it was set up, everything. So this is me. I'll remember the days of no setting sun or barely a setting sun in Norway and also Iceland. The waterfalls next to the road. Are there waterfalls next to the road here? Yeah. If I was visiting Montana or Wyoming and I saw something like that, I would remember that as well. When you're traveling, you just notice all of the things. So you make a new friend or more that I make on the train. I made a couple of people on the train. A cafe, a simple conversation. And travel builds confidence. So whether you believe it or not, stuff can and probably will go wrong. Yeah, as you know, I had a flat tire in Norway. I've had snafus where I got to Iceland and they're like, something's wrong with your passport. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm going to have to live here? Okay. It really wasn't that, I wasn't like, okay, but it was a little bit stressful. But I dealt with it. You get lost, you find your way. People really help me. Like I'm starting to learn the Norwegian now, Jeg lærer norsk litt, like jeg snakker litt norsk, I'd say. So I didn't know anything and I freaked out, but I got through it and I was by myself and nobody helped me except like the person I met on the train, my friend. He was just checking in. I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck. And he helped me. So you never know. You're going to have flight delays, weather changes, all that kind of thing. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what's worth the trip. Okay. And so now I have a couple of ideas. And then after I go to the Netherlands, you'll see what I do. But I'm now thinking about, I'll probably do something about how you travel alone before I go. Because I know a friend of mine, it's her first time traveling alone. So I always travel alone. I actually prefer it. My whole term now is like, I'll travel adjacent. Like I'll travel with you, but not exactly with you. Like Jennifer, we're going to meet at the airport. I get in at like 6 a.m. She gets in at like 8. I'm going to rent a car. I'll wait for her. I'll go to a cafe and have some coffee or something, or take a nap in the car. I don't know. And then I'll go back and pick her up. And then we're going to travel together. So it's like we're traveling alone, but then together. So it's going to be fun. So here are some things that I could do when in the Netherlands. So you can look up anything. You can go to TripAdvisor or whatever. And I can go to this Van Gogh Museum. How cool is this, right? So I took a picture of this, and now I'm going to show you just for a second, like what it looks like, kind of. Okay. And look at this museum here. And I hope you can see this. Yeah. Okay. So all of these things here. So there's all in this park, and I believe it's free. They have all these exhibitions. They have sculptures. They have all kinds of things, right? And so I went to the Van Gogh live thing here, but you can go through the sculpture garden. Look at that. And then you could learn more about the sculpture garden. Like, do things, look at that. Do things that are interesting that maybe you wouldn't do on your own, And then maybe they're free and maybe they're not. Like Atlas Obscura, it's totally free. Okay, so then I could do this. I could go to this fairy tale medieval castle. I didn't look up how to say this. Muderslot, probably. So here is this one. Now there's all kinds of castles, in Europe. So if you are a castle person, this would be really fun to see. So here it is. It's pretty beautiful. I gotta find that now. And so there's all these things you can do. It's got a moat. Whoa. Gardens, a museum route, a tower route. So this is like all the fun stuff I can do. And then also, geez, oh gosh, I have so many things open here. And then the last thing I was looking at was these two things. So I'm going to click on these. I'm just going to take this off for a second and show you. This is the stuff that you do. Like, are you guys planners before you go? Like, are you someone who looks up that stuff? What else did I have? I had another Facebook thing. What was it? Well, I guess not. So I could explore Belgian food. Here's all the food tours, or you could just find your own. So they've got Brussels chocolate tasting tour. Yes, please. And then the last thing I want to show you are these things, and they're called, it's not stroopwafel. Hang on. Okay. So that museum I went to, or the one, oh my God, it's so hard to say this stuff. So I forget how to say it. It's like stroopwafel or something. It's these. Some call it a caramel waffle, and they're not. I thought at first they were like the Norwegian pancake kind of thing, but they're not the same. So they're small like that, and then they always say the best thing to do is to enjoy it. Put it over your coffee, and soften it up a bit, and then enjoy it. So, okay, hang on a second here. Oh, you didn't see that. Did I not share that? Okay, here's this. I always think it goes back over there. Here it is. Okay. Stroopwafel. So it's thin and small. And you can look this stuff up later too, but that's how you do it. You put it over your coffee cup. And so I love going to the coffee places also that are like, they serve it in like real cups, you know? So here's the thing, okay? This is perfect. This is perfect. So as I was thinking about this today, all right, Jennifer Taylor, I love architecture, exactly, especially medieval architecture, exactly. I plan a lot, but refuse to keep the schedule. I like to follow butterflies. Well, yeah. So, and that's the thing too, Jennifer. You reminded me about the Atlas Obscura thing. So it's okay to plan it, but it's like okay not to stick to the plan, right? Like I have to plan certain things, but I just can't be like I'm going to do this from this time. We're going to go here and then here and then here and then whatever. So how? Okay, Christine, Hillary. Always good to have a small list of things to see and places to eat. I like to have a few things planned and then free time to just discover new things. I agree. Coffee shops with yummy pastries are divine, aren't they? Oh my God. And Lumiere, New Orleans, Christine, have you been there? The beignets. Oh my God. So good. So that was New Orleans. That was the United States. So, okay. So how perfect is this? It's this Instagram page. And I just was like, wait a minute, this is like too perfect that this came out. So I screenshot it because I didn't want to get dinged again. So it's not grammatically right, but here's what it is. And it's the site is Diploma Duck. So he's like, so duck, stop saving everything for later. Fancy bottle, open it. Trip, take it. All right, you've convinced me, right? Because in the long run, think about this, right? Here's my final thoughts. Because you can't put a dollar amount on memory. You can't calculate the value of a conversation with a stranger on a train, right? Or the confidence that comes from figuring something out in a country where everything feels like super unfamiliar. Or the way your brain wakes up when it's surrounded by new places, new people, new experiences, new things. And maybe that's the real point. It's not about just seeing a place. It's about becoming a slightly different version of yourself while you're there. The person who takes the chance, the person who figures things out, the person who talks to someone, the person who comes home with stories instead of excuses. So am I going to the Netherlands? Yeah. Not because it's the smartest financial decision that I will ever make, but not because my business is perfectly lined up, but because life keeps reminding me that there will always be another reason to wait. Sometimes the best experiences don't happen when everything's finally perfect. Sometimes they happen when you decide that right now is good enough. And then there's the stroopwafels, of course, right? So Courtney says, experience will always outweigh experience. Boy, that's astute. Experience will always outweigh expense. Yes, you're right. And I had no money in New Orleans and we still had a blast, right? And so I'm going to end with these, some quotes about travel, my friends. I regret spending money on that epic life-changing trip, said no one ever. Live with no excuses and travel with no regrets. And lastly, once a year, go somewhere you've never been before. It was the Dalai Lama. So Jennifer, Jolene says, you would miss us if you didn't. Exactly. Well, I missed you. Well, you didn't go to New Orleans. Also, yes, Dutch pancakes. Exactly. Well, that's the so I wonder if they're like Norwegian pancakes. The stroopwafels are a little bit different. But yeah, so we're going to experience it all, my friends. You know what? Thanks for joining me, because if you have ever thought about any of this stuff, I think the bottom line, at least for me, is just do it, because you could die on the Europe trip. Who knows? But you just never know what's coming around the corner. Jolene says we can start a GoFundMe. No. I don't agree with GoFundMe's for vacations like that. Like, hey, I got this trip. Help me pay for it. Now, if I was going there for life-changing surgery, for sure. Is that a place there? Hope's Coffee Candy in. Okay, that's exciting. God, I'm so dark. Sorry. Thank you for joining me. Courtney says, I'm hungry. Let's go. Yes, let's go. Jolene, love you. Can't wait for my Katie hug. Exactly. I love you guys all. Okay, so let's end with my ending here. So like and subscribe on YouTube's. It'll make Sid Squatch and his tiny hiney very happy. He is oh my God, you can't see him. Oh, maybe I should just hold this up here. Should have held my hand up here the whole time. So the journey begins with you. Be good to yourself. And I love you. That's me. Oh, I got 2 more comments. That's good. Okay. Oh, it's Candy. Thank you. So Fatty say yes. Tommy want wingy. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for enduring all this with me too. Bye.